Hello traders, it is Wednesday evening, March 20th, or as I like to call it, Fed Day. We had an FOMC meeting today and I will talk about it a little bit later. Tonight we're going to be using Option Stalker. It is a full-featured trading platform with proprietary indicators and trade signals built in. We're going to be using it to very quickly find swing trades. I promise to give you a video every Wednesday night. Thursday is my favorite trading day of the week, so it's appropriate that I do one on Wednesday night, and I'm going to be starting with a review of the two stock picks that I provided in the prior video. Option Stalker is $3.99 per quarter, and you'll see it on my homepage, www.oneoption.com. Wait till you see what it has to offer. It makes trading so easy. If you're a swing trader, this process will probably only take you 10 minutes a night. It's really easy to find the picks, so let's get on with it. First of all, I want to show you the two picks that I highlighted in Sunday's video. One was Dell. I love this breakout here through horizontal resistance, and the stock on Friday had moved sharply higher. But as I mentioned in that video, I don't like to buy stocks when they break out at this level. We were looking to buy right on the middle of this bar, which happens to coincide with the tail from the prior high. And that put us right in the $59 range. I think it was $59.50 was our target. We were not able to purchase the stock at that price. We've only had 3 days to try, and the stock is pulling back off of that high. That's why I don't like chasing these stocks. They almost always give you an opportunity to buy. Should we get filled at this price level right here, and it looks like $59, let's call it, then we will use the open of this bar as our stop initially. But what we'd like to do is use the trading signals to exit the trade. So if we've had some time and we have some profits built up, we'll be leaning on the trade signals and we'll be waiting for a red signal to exit. I'm going to go down to the bottom and I'm going to click one of my indicators, and we'll use the default of 10. It's called the One Option Strength Index, and here you can see the value is above 0, so the stock is strong. We also want this to stay above 0. If it dips below 0, we would exit the trade. So here are the parameters for the trade. We're trying to buy right here, call it $59. If we are filled, initially we'll use the bottom of this green candle for the stop. And once the stock starts to grind higher, then we'll actually change to a red arrow by the system, or if the strength indicator goes below 0. Let's take a look at the second stock that I outlined. It was YUMC. Here we see a really nice price compression and a breakout through this horizontal resistance. And in the video, I said we are going to try and buy right at this horizontal breakout here. And we were able to. We had an order in to buy the stock at $42.50, and we were able to. And look what it's done. We've got a nice gain in it already. We've got about a $1 gain in the stock, and this comes on the heels of a sell-off today. So this stock has plenty of power, really good looking trade. So what I would do now is I would put a stop right here at the top of this bar just to lock in profits. So that's at the 42, let's call it 70 level. Now you can't lose money on the stock unless it gaps down overnight, but it's got a nice head of steam and you can see how it is still very strong relative to the market, and you can see how the volume has been excellent. I'm expecting this stock to grind higher. So those were the two picks. You can see how easy it was for me to find them, and you can see how well the stocks have performed even under slightly adverse market conditions. So let's take a look at the market very quickly and see what the S&P did. You can see here that we had a nice breakout yesterday, Tuesday, but the stock reversed immediately off of that high. Today, the market opened below that breakout and it closed lower than the open. This is leaving us with a somewhat bearish candlestick formation called an evening star. Not particularly good. We want to make sure that the breakout at SPY 281, right in there, that was the prior high. So that 281 is our level to watch. We want to make sure that it's maintained. If the market breaks below 281, you have to be very, very cautious with your long positions, and you might even consider taking some of your longs off. You might even consider a short position if we start getting some follow-through selling. Until we break below this 200-day moving average, the pink line, I'm not too concerned, but we do want to temper our bullishness. So everything looks pretty good. What concerns me a little bit is that the Fed could not have been more dovish today. They said that we aren't going to have any interest rate hikes until 2020. They said that the balance sheet roll-off is going to end in September. The market got everything it could have possibly wanted, yet it pulled back today. That's a bit of a warning sign to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a long and a short today, and we're going to use the scanner to find those stocks. So let's go in and we will click on scanner. Then I'm going to click on bullish, and I'm going to click on my favorite search. I showed you this in the last video. Pop Bull is fantastic for swing trading on the long side. We're going to keep the 100-day and 200-day moving average up, and we're going to click through, and lo and behold, the first stock on the list, I love it. This is a great long to take. Netflix, beautiful, beautiful compression right in here, very, very tight. You can see it's on a buy signal, and I'm going to put up the strength index. You can see how it has been above zero. So it is strong relative to the market, and we like this breakout right here. And this is where we want to try and enter that trade. Now, I don't know that the stock will pull back that far. That's the 366.65 level. And I think that we're going to have to be a little bit more aggressive trying to get into this trade. So we'll probably have to go up to these highs right in here, which puts us at the 370.75 level. I'm going to say let's try and go in at 370. So the stock closed at 375. That's a big, powerful move. I'm not going to chase it. It's got to come back. Not going to pay more than $370 for it. So that'll be our first trade. I really do like this trade though. If we enter at $370, we're going to use this prior high right here as our stop. So that level is where we're going to stop out of the trade. Let's keep clicking and take a look at what else came up on the search. This is a nice looking stock, general uptrend, very, very choppy. I don't like these big dips generally, but yeah, the stock is good. It's got a nice uptrend. Not my favorite. I prefer tight trading patterns. This is a little bit tighter. You can see the trend higher, pretty choppy. Hess, I'm not a big fan of $6 stocks either, but this is a really nice formation here. We've got a strong uptrend on GoPro. We have a really nice horizontal breakout. We've got a buy signal right here, and we've got relative strength. I like this stock, but it doesn't move a lot. So it's something that you might have to sit on for a while to get it to move. Look at this entry right here. That was a beauty. So we're going to continue to let the stock run, but I would be buying it here at this $6.30 level, right at the opening of this bar. Let's hope for a little bit of a pullback, and then that would be our entry point. And for a stop, we don't have to look too far for support. If we want to be relatively passive, we can use the bottom right here, the support level right here, which is, call it $6.10 would be the stop if we're able to enter right here. Okay, so 630 is our entry. 610 is our stop. We got a 20-cent stop on it. And it does have the 200-day moving average down here, so I think the downside's relatively contained, and it does have a nice uptrend. Volume's been okay, good relative strength. This is a nice looking trade. Just going to keep clicking through. This is nice. I like this. Higher lows, higher highs, resting against that 200-day moving average. If it can get through, it'll go. And here's another one, Google. Google's pretty choppy. It's such an expensive stock. You can see how it kind of waffles back and forth. We had a nice breakout here, and then it pulled back to the 200-day moving average. It's got excellent relative strength, though, so this stock wants to move higher. Today it broke through horizontal resistance, and this would be where I would try and buy it. With the market right now showing some weakness, I would not be overly anxious to take long positions. We've got the S&P 500 trading near horizontal resistance. As we get closer and closer to the all-time high, the headwinds are going to blow. The gains will be hard fought. I don't think you have to rush in to buy anything. If you can buy it on a pullback, great. But don't pay up for anything right here. And I do suspect longer term that global economic deterioration is going to continue. For some reason, investors are thinking that as long as global weakness doesn't spread to the US, we're fine. Well, one of the reasons that the Fed was so dovish today is because they're worried about the global macro backdrop. The first sign of trouble here, be it in the form of economic data points that are weaker than expected, or earnings warnings, which we just had one from FedEx today. FedEx is considered an economic barometer because it's in the shipping industry. They lowered guidance for the second time. They see weak global demand. So there are some concerns. Trade deal with China or not, I think we've got problems. And a trade deal with China is not going to stop the global trend. So in any event, enough about the macro market conditions, which incidentally, I do describe my macro outlook every day to members. So we've got this nice breakout. I would say you'd want to try and buy the stock right here on this breakout point, and you would use this horizontal support level as your stop. As long as you've got a green arrow, as long as we've got the relative strength, I think the stock continues to move higher. Great looking stock. Nice little compression right in here. Gets through horizontal resistance, gaps higher on earnings, consolidates and holds that earnings gap. Then it moves through that horizontal resistance, and now it's off to the races. This is what I think could happen with a stock like Dell or YUMC. So once you get this breakout, it does consolidate for a bit, and then boom, she takes off. I like this stock. I think that it's one that you need to try and buy in a pullback. It's a little fast out of the gate, and we've kind of missed it a little bit here, so I wouldn't be anxious to get into it. So there we have some nice trades. I gave you an outline on Netflix. Really like Netflix. Out of the picks, this is my favorite. Really like GoPro. It's a cheap little stock, but I think it could go. Even if you get, 20 cents out of it, 30 cents, that's a huge percentage gain. And I like Google on the long side also. Really nice. Got to wait for a pullback right in here. Make sure that it holds that breakout, so you don't want it to pull back too far. I did want to point out one thing. Here you've got a breakout to a nice little relative high, and then falls right back, and then kind of waffles around before it gets through that 200-day moving average. So Google's a little bit choppy. It's such an expensive stock. It can be relatively thin at times. So make sure that if it does pull back to this level, that it holds. And then we'll use this support level to stop the trade out. Because the market is a little toppy right now, I want to make sure that we take a look at some bearish plays. I'm going to click bearish, and I'm going to go to pop bear. Now this would be the counterpart to pop bull. So let's click on a couple of stocks. Hard selling, horizontal support breached, relative weakness. Lots of good stuff going on with this short. Not real familiar with the company. Quite honestly, I don't care what they do. I do know what most companies do because I've got my face in this research all day long, but I'm really a technician. I follow the technicals. I'm not in these trades for a year or two. I'm in them for a week or two. I just want to be in and out as long as the conditions warrant, and then I'm on to the next stock. So I'm going to, I could click through all of these. That's a nice breakdown there. So you've got your high just off of resistance, horizontal resistance here, can't get through, pulls back below the 200-day moving average, pops up, and can't even get close to that high before it backs off, and then boom, it's through the 200-day. Below the 100-day, I think this is a really good short. This is UNM. So below that 100-day, I would short it, and I would use this as my stop. You can see relative weakness. You can see the sell signal right here. The platform option Stalker comes with trading signals. That's the beauty of it. It takes the guesswork out of everything. So look at this. You got your buy signal here, relative strength. You stay in this until as long as both conditions hold true. So you're in all the way up until right here, from here to here. See how easy that is? Here, you've got a sell signal right here. Nice. Relative weakness. So you stay in. True, 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 true. Oh, relative strength. Look at the gains you had on this stock just by following that very simple rule base. You come in, you use the sell signals, you use this indicator, you use the canned searches. You don't have to do anything else. It's really pretty basic, and it's intended to be. I need to be efficient. I want to find as many stocks as I can, and I want to make this easy on myself. So I'm going to go down to a couple of other stocks. I did flip through these, so just to be honest, I flipped through them earlier. I like this short. You can see how it backs off of this 200-day moving average. It tests it, and it cannot get through, and the bottom kind of falls out today. Same deal here with that 100-day moving average. Financial stocks, they like higher interest rates. They're not going to get it. The Fed said they're not going to raise until 2020. These stocks did not like it. Plus, if you put a weakening economic backdrop in there globally, maybe it spreads to the US, you might have some problems. So if it's below this 100-day moving average, you short it here. You use that as your stop. We want to see continued relative weakness, and we want to make sure that it continues on this red sell signal. And I'm going to go down. I think I had found one other pen. This is a really decent looking short here also. Lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, drifting lower, breaks the 100-day, can't get above it, relative weakness. Love these kind of stocks. So easy, very predictable move. Got horizontal support that's been breached right there. Boom, 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 boom. All the while, the market's making a high. So if I want to, I can overlay SPY. This is what the market's been doing. Zoom. This gray line is the S&P 500. Up, 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 up. Look at this stock. Cannot hold a bid. When the market does turn over, this stock is going to fall. So here are your marching instructions for any short positions. I've showed you two, actually three, that I really like. You've got PENN, really nice short. We're going to use the 100-day moving average as a stop. Okay, and we also had ZION, Zion Bank Corp. Wait for it to break through that 100-day moving average. That's going to be our stop on the way up. We're looking for follow-through selling, continued relative weakness, and stay on that red sell signal. So I'm going to take the S&P overlay off. toggle on, toggle off. Everything's so easy in the platform. Got all my indicators down here. Volume, you can see how the volume compares relative to the last 20 days. Compression study, 10P. This is the only indicator I use to trade S&P E-minis during the day. It is unbelievable. Big day today. Anyway, that's for day trading, and I'll do future webinars or videos specifically for day trading. So here's the caveat to taking short positions. We have to make sure that we have a market tailwind for shorts. Market first, market first, market first. You cannot consider individual stocks until you have a good feel for what the market is going to do. Right now, it's all systems go. The market looks great. It's through a major horizontal resistance level. So everything's great, but I did mention I don't like this little price pattern in here. This evening star could be problematic, and if we continue to sell off tomorrow, then we'll need to get below horizontal support at SPY 281. Okay, if we're below SPY 281 and we close below it, then you can start to consider short positions in ZION and PENN. Until then, don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. Until then, we're going to focus on our long positions. And in that situation, we had Netflix. I love it. I outlined how you should approach that trade. GoPro, really like it, how you should approach that one. And Google. So you got 3 longs today and 2 potential shorts. I'm going to review all 3 of them when I do my video next week. So in the future, what I'll be doing is I'll be recording these videos. I'll be reviewing the prior trades from the prior week and telling you how they went, how they're doing, and then I'm going to post the video. But that video will only be available for members. However, when I post that new video, I'm also going to release the previous week's video to the public. So if you're considering signing up for Option Stalker, then you'll be able to go through week after week, view the videos when they're released, and they'll show you what I was highlighting the week before and how they did. So you'll have a little bit of a track record so that you can see that this is really, really sound research that takes place. And I hope that by viewing the presentation tonight, you can see how easy it is. If I didn't do any commentary or dialogue or trade analysis, this would take me about 5 minutes to find these stocks. Click, 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 and it's done. The searches are already canned. In future videos, and I'm going to show you very quickly, in future videos, I am going to show you how to use my custom search engine. Watch how easy this is. This is so slick. This is binary, so you select the time frame, 5 minute, 30 minute, 1 hour, 1 day. Doesn't matter, whatever your time horizon is. And since this is for swing traders, we're going to stick with swing trades. So we're going to go and we're going to look for a buy signal. So that would be bullish on a daily basis. We're going to look for strength versus the S&P 500. Okay, already mentioned that. And then we'll go down and we'll look for heavy volume. And then I would like to have a stock that's greater than the prior day's high. So even though the S&P 500 backed off today, it reversed. A stock that's been able to get above yesterday's high and maintain that level, well, that's a lot of strength. We'd certainly be interested in that. And then I'm going to mark option liquidity. And we're going to raise this up. I love to trade options. I'm one of the few places that actually rates stocks based on their option liquidity. I don't know of anyone else that does it, but you can use it as a search feature. You can search for any of this criteria. And it's so easy. I have lots of videos on my website that show you some of my favorite searches. Let's click it. And if by chance I get a ton of stocks that are returned from that search, I can continue to add restrictions so that I can narrow even further. I'm going to move this off to the left so that I can click on these symbols and you can take a look at some of these charts. So this is a bullish search. Amazon, I like it. This is another one I would consider. Quite choppy in here, but this is a pretty big horizontal breakout, so I do like Amazon. Gold starting to move a little bit higher. Not a crazy commodity trader. HAL looks pretty good. I like this. It's got to get through the 100 days, so not overly excited until it can do that. Netflix we already looked at. PBR, oil. A lot of the commodity stocks did pretty well. That is a nice breakout right there. That is solid. You get the breakout and you get the follow through. So PBR, I'd keep an eye on it. Really good volume, excellent relative strength through the moving averages, through horizontal resistance. Great little buy signal here. Oh yeah. This stuff gets me excited, you can tell. When I find something I like, I can watch it the next day. I love it. So we've got Twitter here. This is too choppy. I mean, it's all over the board. Yeah, this is a nice breakout here. We're through the 100-day moving average. I bet Twitter can continue to grind higher. Probably will find resistance at the 200-day moving average. Too choppy, so not of interest. But that's how easy the custom search engine is to use, and I will be highlighting it more in the future. So we're keeping things very simple. Just use two canned searches, pop bull and pop bear. Really all you need, plus a little technical analysis. Add the buy and sell signals in there and my strength indicator, and you're set. Thank you so much. Have a good evening. Watch these stocks. I think they're going to perform really well.